Linda, have you moved in? You got all your boxes unpacked?
We're trying to.
Hi, Linda. Hi, David.
Hello.
I keep trying to count how many aldermen we have here, and the boxes keep moving. So it's want to make sure we have everybody.
I'll take a picture.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It looks like people are here, but yeah, do that.
8,
Yeah.
9. Tina, do you know who's on the phone with us? Okay.
Tina, do I need to do that, or can you do it?
The person who called in on the telephone line, please identify yourself.
I'm going to try to count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'll tell you who I see, and if there's somebody else there, and feel free to speak up. Here's the members of the board that I see. Myself, Alderman Robertson, Alderman Brown, Alderman Skidmore, Alderman Sprouse, Alderman Bolt, Alderman Cunningham, Alderman Petrelli, Alderman Hayes, Alderman Campbell, and Alderman Edwards. Am I missing anybody?
I don't know how to mute this thing.
Okay.
You're missing Mr. Waters.
Is Alderman Waters on here and I'm not seeing him?
I have not seen him connect yet, sir.
Okay, okay. And who else?
Daryl, is Daryl on?
We've got Alderman Woodcock. 6, 5,
Mr. Waters is your only one, I think, Mayor.
4, 4, 3, 3, 2. I don't see Alderman Sprouse. I'm pretty sure he just chaired a meeting, so he should be joining us.
He's there.
There we go.
He's here.
I don't think that's Alderman Campbell. I think that's Wolfman Jack. So.
Maybe we could get him and Marshall a 2-for-1 deal. We're gonna get Pat and Marshall a 2-for-1 deal at some barber shop. It'd take 3 hours, but
Sounds like jealousy to me.
Well placed, Alderman Campbell.
No kidding.
if my phone was, if my microphone was not muted, you would have heard my wife laugh very heartedly at that one.
Scott, you and I are like when we were younger, we used Head and Shoulders. Now we use Mop and Glow.
You might wonder why I have all the football stuff is because I'm sitting at my son-in-law's desk.
All right. Well, your son-in-law has good taste.
I know, and he has good taste in women too.
My kids are after me to let my hair grow out for lots of love. So, you know, it's one of those things I'm thinking about.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to say that as much as I was missing when Lisa West left, I was looking forward to being able to see around hair, to actually see the chairman of the meeting. And there's some nights your hair is bigger than Lisa was. And again, I'm jealous.
Understandable.
Hello, Miss Linda and David.
Hello.
Can we just go on?
We miss everybody.
We miss you too.
We have quorum.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Tina and I are fixing one thing, and we are going to start in about 30 seconds. Okay, we're recording, so I want to welcome everybody to the Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting for October 13th, 2020. And we're going to begin as we typically do, and that's with a prayer and a pledge. So please join me for a prayer, and then I'll stand up, and you see the flag right behind me, and then we'll continue with the pledge. So please bow your heads with me. Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us together, and thank you for this opportunity to serve you, as well as the opportunities to serve you as we leave here. And help us to use your wisdom and the skills and the talents and abilities you've given us to do your work here and your work as we go from here. And please look after those people who are suffering, the people who are suffering from COVID-19, the people who are suffering from other illnesses. Especially look after the Dimke family and the Harover and the Takis family. And look over all those folks who are suffering, whether we know it or not, and whether it's physical or emotional. And especially look over folks that are not able to get out like they used to, and the folks that really have yearned for human contact for a long time. We want to thank you also for the people who protect us here and the people who protect us far away. And again, help us to do your work here. Help us to show kindness. Help us to show your love. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Do the pledge.
Please join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance,
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. I'm going to entertain a motion to accept our agenda. Alderman Robertson.
Yes, I have a motion, please. Mayor, I would like to make a motion to add under presentations, item C, an update on the first responders memorial dedication date. It's a short announcement. Also, I would like to, under section 8, I would like to group the following items under a consent agenda. They are items A, C, F, H, I, J, and K.
Okay, so we have a motion for those items. Do I hear a second?
Hold up.
Eddie, do you want to repeat? Alderman Robertson, do you want to repeat that for us?
Hold
I
up.
will.
We need a motion to put the agenda on the table before we take amendments for it. So I move to approve the agenda.
Alderman Robertson, do you want to make a motion to approve the agenda?
Yes, I'll second. I think Alderman Sprouse moved, so I'll second.
Okay, and Alderman Robertson, do you want to give us your motion again?
I'll be happy to. I would like to add under the presentations, item C, and it will be a short update on the first responders memorial dedication date. Also, I would like to add under section 8, I would like to group the following items. They are A, C, F, H, I, J, and K as a consent item.
Okay, so we have a proposed amendment to the agenda. Is there a second to that?
I'll second that.
We have a second from Alderman Cunningham. Alderman Brown, do you want to speak on this amendment?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
I have some discussion on item B, so I would go along with the amendment as long as we don't add B.
I did not include B.
Okay, well, I've got hearing aids, Eddie, I'm sorry, and I'm on a computer, so thank you.
Okay.
Any other discussion on this? All those in favor of accepting this amendment, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, please say no when Kay calls your name.
Bolt,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Cunningham,
Aye.
Edwards,
Aye.
Hayes,
Yay.
Petrelli,
Aye.
Robertson,
Aye.
Skidmore,
Aye.
Sprouse,
Aye.
Waters, Waters,
Alderman Waters hasn't joined us yet, but he has indicated to me that he will later on.
Woodcock,
Aye.
Clary.
Aye.
That's unanimous.
Thank you, Kay. That passed unanimously. We have any other proposed amendments for the agenda? All those in favor of accepting the agenda as amended, please signify by saying aye when Kay calls your name. Those opposed, please say no.
Bolt,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Cunningham,
Aye.
Edwards,
Aye.
Hayes,
Aye.
Petrelli,
Aye.
Robertson,
Aye.
Skidmore,
Aye.
Sprouse,
Aye.
Woodcock,
Aye.
Clary,
Aye.
and that's unanimous.
Passed unanimously. Thank you, Kay. Next on the agenda, we have a presentation, and the first one is for World Osteoporosis Day. We have two guests with us. Our two guests, Dave and Linda Evgen, are accepting both of our presentations. So, Dave, do you want the first one, and Linda gets the second one, or have you already decided how this works? Oh, y'all are still muted.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, yes.
Okay, well, let me go ahead and read this, and then I'll turn the floor over to you, Dave. Thank you so much. Whereas the International Osteoporosis Foundation organizes World Osteoporosis Day each year on October 20th to help raise awareness on the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of osteoporosis and metabolic bone disease. And whereas this year's headline will be "That's Osteoporosis," which will focus on the stories of people around the globe living with osteoporosis and the impact it has on not only the individual, but on the family caregivers. And whereas 1/3 of women and 1/5 of men 50 years of age or older will suffer from osteoporotic fracture, which estimates to around 9 million each year. And whereas approximately 80% of individuals who have suffered from osteoporotic fracture are not being treated for osteoporosis, and 86% of those who have had a previous fracture doubles the risk of their future fractures. And whereas knowing your family history and maintain a healthy lifestyle, such as avoiding drinking and smoking, regular physical activity, and a balanced diet is crucial to help prevent osteoporosis. Now, therefore, I, Jamie Clary, Mayor of the City of Hendersonville, Tennessee, do proclaim October 20th, 2020 as Osteoporosis Day in Hendersonville, and I encourage all citizens to follow early prevention strategies, including osteogenic loading to improve bone density and prevent effect caused from fractures resulting from osteoporosis. Thank you. And Dave, you want to tell us a little bit more about this, please?
Yes, this is really an important issue. With our center, what we do is we actually improve and reverse osteoporosis. And there's nothing else out there that does this. But it's been stunning because my home background has been in healthcare for the last many years, as you can tell from my hair color. And I used to run labs, and I've built all kinds of businesses, but this has been amazing.
Honor it for a month.
But we are doing this for a month, and what we're going to do is we're going to, starting on, today, but actually the 20th is actually osteoporosis day that starts the month. And we're going to have every Friday after that, a event online where people can come on and they'll hear doctors and healthcare professionals talk about this important thing. Most people don't realize that at the age of 50, after the age of 50, that if you fall down and fracture your hip, you have a 50% chance of not surviving. It's amazing. And the whole thing has to do with bone density. So we reverse bone density, we give people strength, we increase their muscle mass, and we give them balance. And that's what we do.
And these things are happening all over the world.
And these things are actually, this whole thing is a new technology that started 16 years ago, and it's all over the world. But anyway, thank you for the honor of letting us at least bring this to everybody's attention. And thank you.
Dave, I appreciate the extra information. I appreciate your assistant there helping as well. And so if your assistant could step into the
No,
frame.
not my assistant. This is my boss. Hello.
I'm going to read the next proclamation. Whereas the City of Hendersonville, Tennessee, as a sister city of Whoville since 2007, proclaims that the holiday spirit will begin in Hendersonville on October 13th, 2020, and shall end on April 30th, 2021. And whereas the City of Hendersonville has been selected to lead the holidays in Tennessee during this pandemic year in the areas of Hendersonville Hometown Jam, the Christmas for Kids event, and the annual events, including the Indian Lake Loop, the tree lighting, the Festival of Lights, the Christmas Tree Elegance, the Boat Parade, and the Christmas Parade, as well as a spring event to benefit all Sumner County charities. And whereas the City of Hendersonville will hold Holiday Fest celebrations, which were established in 2007 to conduct and enjoy the true spirit of the season while becoming a Hendersonville holiday tradition. And whereas the City of Hendersonville proclaims Holiday Fest as events which honor community creativity, literacy, charity, and tradition, and honors the volunteers with an annual King, Queen, and Royal Court. And whereas the City of Hendersonville will honor our sister city, Whoville, along with the Parks Department with ongoing events, including the Hendersonville Hometown Jam during the Holiday Fest celebrations, where every Hendersonvillian will enjoy the Christmas events. Now, therefore, I, Jamie Clary, Mayor of the City of Hendersonville, Tennessee, in the desire to establish the holiday spirit and encourage giving, hereby proclaim this Holiday Fest season in effect through April of 2021, and I encourage all citizens to participate in these special holiday celebrations. Linda, can you tell us more about this, please?
Yes, thank you all. And it's been a very, very difficult year, as you all know. And we've had to scale back a little bit, but we're hoping that we can still do the parade. We have made major plans for the tree lighting. And right now our focus is on Christmas for Kids, because as you know, they cannot do the buses this year and they cannot shop at Walmart. So we have created an event that I hope all of you will attend. It's a barbecue dinner on November 7th. And we're working with the Parks Department and the Hometown Jam to bring professional entertainment to the dinner. And as much money as we'll raise, then we will go shopping, and the children will be able to have some sort of Christmas. We're hoping to have 400 children again participate with whatever we can buy with the money that we raise. So it's an unusual year, but we're gonna move forward. The Breakfast for Santa is going to be very scaled back. We're not going to do the St. Nicholas Ball. We're not going to do the Garlands and Glitter. We're not going to do a lot of the events that we were going to do, but in the spring, we will do a big Bring the Magic Back to Sumner County event. And I'm excited about that, and know that we're all going to get through this somehow. And I can't thank you all enough for everything that you've always done. And it's exciting that we still can have some holiday traditions.
Linda, thank you.
The Parks Department especially. Thanks to the Park Department.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Dave. Alderman Robertson, do you want to give your report, please, on the First Responders Memorial?
Yes, thank you. The Hendersonville Rotary Club has set the date for the dedication of the First Responders Monument at Memorial Park, and that will be on October the 28th at 3:30 p.m. Again, October the 28th at 3:30 p.m. It's going to be a real celebration and a remembrance for the city. I think that, we want to have all of the BOMA members there. We will have a special reserved seat for you. And so please mark this on your calendar, and not only BOMA, but citizens watching. We want to invite the whole city out to this dedication of this First Responders Monument. I'll be glad to answer any questions. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman Robertson. Alderman Cunningham, question for Alderman Robertson.
No, I was going to ask Linda and David something. Can I? About the Holiday Fest?
Certainly, y'all have no obligation. This is just a presentation, but go ahead, Alderman Cunningham.
Do we have a king and queen of the Holiday Fest this year? And do we have a court for them too?
Yes, we do. Jonathan Hayes, he's putting on his king hat right now. He and Tammy are our king and queen. And Jeff and the Cokers are royal court, and a couple named Hill, their last name is Hill, were nominated by the senior center. So we're all set to go. And we found out today that at least Station Camp Band can participate in the parade. So hopefully Jonathan and Tammy will be able to ride in the parade.
Thank you, Alderman Cunningham. Thank you, Linda. And again, thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda, we have minutes from September 8th, 2020. I'll entertain a motion that we accept those.
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Alderman Cunningham, a second from Alderman Strauss. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, please say no when Kay calls your name.
Bolt,
Aye.
Brown,
Stain,
Campbell,
Aye.
Cunningham,
Aye.
Edwards,
Aye.
Hayes,
Aye.
Petrelli,
Aye.
Robertson,
Aye.
Skidmore,
Aye.
Sprouse,
Aye.
Woodcock,
aye.
Clary.
Aye.
Is Mr. Waters here yet?
I still don't see him, Kay.
So it's 11 ayes and 1 abstention.
That passes with majority vote. Next, we have approval of September 22nd, 2020 minutes from that meeting. I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Motion from Alderman Sprouse, a second from Alderman Hayes. All those in favor of approving the minutes from September 22nd, 2020, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, please say no when Kay calls your name.
Woodcock,
Abstain.
Sprouse,
Aye.
Skidmore,
Aye.
Robertson,
Aye.
Petrelli,
Aye.
Hayes,
Aye.
Edwards,
Aye.
Cunningham,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
I got my abstention wrong. I need to abstain on this minutes, but I will vote yes on the past minutes.
okay.
We'll come back to that. We'll go ahead and take care of this one. Go ahead. Okay.
Okay. I'll abstain on this.
So you have a, Mr. Brown, you have an eye on this one, right? No, you have an abstention on this one.
I have
Okay.
Abstention on this one.
Bolt,
Aye.
Clary,
Aye.
that is 10 ayes, 2 abstentions.
So the minutes from September 22nd, 2020 passed with a majority vote. Without objection, we're going to show in the previous vote on the minutes from September 8th that Alderman Brown votes aye.
Thank you.
Thank you all. We have no citizen comments. Committee reports. Alderman Cunningham, Finance Committee.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no report tonight. Our next Finance Committee will be in 2 weeks at 6 o'clock. Thank you.
Alderman Cunningham, thank you. Alderman Sprouse, General Committee.
Thank you, Mayor. General, the committee met earlier tonight. We had 3 items on the agenda that'll be coming before the board at a future meeting. One had to deal with some adjustments to our rules for a tap room, a tasting room at a on-site brewery. Second had to deal with an appeal from a decision from the Planning Commission on the Triangle. Both of those were recommended unanimously by the committee. We also had a discussion about appointment of city recorder following the retirement or in preparation for the retirement of the current city recorder. And we voted unanimously to recommend putting those functions under the finance department. On tonight's agenda, items B and D were recommended by the general committee. Item E, the general committee declined to take action. Thank you.
Alderman Sprouse, thank you. Alderman Cunningham, question for Alderman Sprouse?
I'm sorry, Mayor. No, I just, part of my finance, I forgot to mention, today is our finance director's birthday, Robert Manning's birthday. So I wanted to wish him a happy birthday. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Public Safety Committee, Alderman Brown.
No report, Mayor.
Appreciate that. Public Works Committee, Alderman Skidmore.
Thank you very much, Mayor. We're scheduled to meet on the 27th. So that'll be in 2 weeks at our normal time, 5 o'clock.
Chairman Skidmore, thank you. Chairman Campbell, Capital Projects Committee.
No report, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Woodcock, Planning Commission.
Thank you, Mayor. I defer my report to our next meeting.
Okay, appreciate that. Dave Lamar, City Administrator report.
Sorry about that. I couldn't unmute myself. Just a couple things going on. When we went to Capital Projects a couple weeks ago, we were talking about the bond money, capital outlay note, and the Finance Committee recommended to go to the board. We are still tweaking a couple of those things with the Finance Committee, with 1 or 2 of those things that may not work in the bond issue, but we'll bring that to the board here in a couple of weeks. I think Keith Free, are you still on here, Keith? Planning Director? I think Keith's on here. I'm not sure if he is or not. If he's not, Rod, are you on here? Well,
I am, Dave.
okay, Rod. Keith asked me today to let you have a couple minutes. You had something you wanted to talk to the board about. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. And thank you, Alderman, for a few minutes of your time. Tina, can you share the newsletter, please? Tina's going to share what we're going to talk about here. Right. So I emailed this to all of the aldermen and planning commissioners earlier today. Some of you may not have had a chance to check your email, so it should be there when you do have a chance. This is our first edition of the Economic Development and Planning newsletter. It is going to be a monthly newsletter, so we will have editions each month that we will send out. We're working on a timeline to figure out when we receive certain information that goes into the newsletter, which will dictate when we can mail it out. So we're working on that. Also building our mailing list. Like I said, the two groups, BOMA and planning commissioners, were the first to see this. So we're hoping to get some feedback and continue to evolve this newsletter so we all have something that we like and that we're proud of. Pretty much what you see now on page 1 is going to stay the same in terms of sections. We are going to continue to include something directly related to economic development and planning in that first section. Property spotlight will change each month. It will include additional open buildings or sites that are available. So we will continue to share those. Tina, if you can switch it to page 2. And then on the back section, you will see upcoming projects and a project spotlight. So that will change out each month as well. And then the calendar on the bottom really right now is just a placeholder. What we're planning to do is each month interview or talk with a department head and allow them to utilize that section to describe their department, talk about their process, what's their philosophy, who are their employees, information like that, just so that the community and the recipients of this newsletter can get a feel for what each of our departments are doing every month. Once we've covered the departments, we can move on to have a specific alderman have a section each month to look at that. So that will be a flex space, but utilized for that type of information going forward. So hopefully you guys will have a chance to look over this. We've gotten some feedback so far that's been positive. Glad to take any recipients that we can add to our mail list from the aldermen, and happy to take suggestions, recommendations. So once y'all have had a chance to digest this, if you have anything that you want to suggest, please feel free to call me or send me an email. And so I think going forward, this will be a good communication tool for the Planning and Economic Development Department. Any questions or comments right off?
Yes, sir.
Alderman Hayes.
Not right now.
Okay, Alderman Bolt.
Yeah, I think this is a long time coming, and I really appreciate having regular communication out of economic development, and I really appreciate you and Keith and planning putting this together, and look forward to seeing on a regular basis communication and from you guys. Thanks so much.
Alderman Sprouse, do you have a question?
Mr. Bolt said it better, but I second his comments.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay.
Yes, at the end of your report, I'd like to make a comment.
Okay, yes, sir.
Dave, let me just add one more thing. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Lauren Berry and the planning department. She has been the workhorse on this. This is right in her wheelhouse. So in terms of design and development, she was invaluable, and I appreciate her efforts on this.
Okay, thank you, Rod. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Along with that, it's really funny because I think I forwarded to the alderman several newsletters. Codes gives us a monthly update on their permits and inspections and things like this. I forwarded that. Andy Gilliam in the Parks Department does a monthly newsletter, gives information on events and stuff coming up and what's going on in the park. PD, Commander Hobbsmeyer, gives us reports on arrest and domestics and all the things going on in the police department. Coming out of planning now with Rod in this particular thing. Fire department sends me updates daily on the COVID situation. Public Works and stuff out on stormwater projects and things like that. So I try to forward you all, the aldermen, all these reports and things that the departments are doing. They're all very positive. The community I know Marcia's been sending the weekly trash things out and so on and so forth. I appreciate the department heads, and that's one of the things we try to work as a team, getting reports out to you so that you kind of know what's going on week to week or month to month with each department as day-to-day operations go on. Let's see, what else I got? Final payment of the TIF has been made. I think you all have gotten a report about that. We still have a couple of departments that they're having some COVID issues with some positive testing. They're doing the social distancing. Some of them are staying home till the tests come back positive and negative. We still have some things that it's not serious at this point. It's been well managed. The department heads have done a great job managing these areas. If they've got employees with COVID, they send them home. If they're being tested and they haven't come back, they send them home until they're tested or come back positive and negative. So I appreciate the department heads and supervisors doing what they're supposed to be doing with the COVID and with this pandemic. Still got some people working from home, some alternating home and remotely and at work and at the city hall. So that's working out great. I think Andy, I know Andy's on here. We've got a little citywide fish fry on Thursday, 11:30 to 12:30 at the park. Andy, do you want to expound any on that? Why you doing this for the employees and staff and everything?
Sure. We're 11:30 to 12:30. We're doing it for the employees at City Hall. The Rogers Group Fish Fry is something that nearly every single employee looks forward to every year. And a lot of you all attend as well, but they didn't have theirs this year. So we've kind of scrambled around and figured out a way to do it for our employees Thursday. You're welcome to stop by. Any of the aldermen and mayor, welcome to stop by if you'd like to. I just felt like it was be something good for employee morale. We had a good cookout last spring, I believe it was. And we're going to be doing it at Drakes Creek Park, setting up tables and chairs. And Rogers Group is bringing their tent for us. So that was nice of them to do that. That's what we're doing on Thursday.
Okay. Andy, appreciate that. That's a great outreach. Employees, public safety guys that have had to work, employees have had to work through this COVID situation. And I think it's a little attaboy and a thank you for those people that have worked, city employees, aldermen, all the staff. And I appreciate you heading that up. Also, I think we have a rugby ribbon cutting this week. Is that true?
Yes, sir. We got Friday, I believe the kind of starts at 3:30, but actual ribbon cutting is at 4. I think most of you have gotten an invitation. A lot of departments involved in this. They're playing their first games this weekend at Rugby. It's far from a finished project. Don't have restrooms quite yet, permanent restrooms. Don't have the parking lot paved yet. Don't have lights yet, but the fields are in great shape, as good as any new fields have been built in the park in a long time. So we're going to cut a ribbon on Friday afternoon for rugby. It should be good. Great.
The last thing I'll ask is that Alderman, I know this is a busy time with elections going on, a lot of city business going on. Our employees are staying busy. If you have things that you'd like the employees to do, I don't mind you contacting them. That's great. I know we have a lot of information going back and forth. If you don't mind, just CC me on these emails back and forth to the employees, just so that we are all on the same page, and the employees, if they have something to do, they can let me know or let you know if something's come up. I know in the situation with Kay Franklin and Mary Beth, the records requests have gotten just absolutely over the top, and so if you email Mary Beth or any other department heads for that matter, just copy me on it so that we're all on the same page. Again, just a lot of stuff going on with the election and projects and things like that. So busy time. I say this every meeting. I've said this on December the 10th. I'll say it again. We have great employees. They're working hard. We've had a tough year budget-wise. We have a tough year pandemic. The political season is around. Employees continue to do their jobs and do it very well. And I appreciate them and the job they do for the team. I think the city administrative position is working out very well. And we'll see how it continues down the road in the near future. But employees have stepped up to the plate and doing a great job, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor.
Appreciate that. Alderman Robertson. Alderman Robertson, we can't hear you.
I'll defer to Alderman Hayes. I think he had his hand up first.
All righty. All righty. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it. Dave, you've been the king of attaboys, especially this week. We've all seen these emails and you're giving attaboys to all of our employees, our directors. I just wanted to take a moment and give you an attaboy. I want to mention to everyone that we're especially appreciative for what you did with our directors and all of our employees to have a balanced budget with no tax increase, even during an economic downturn. You also, during these past few months, have filled 3 department head vacancies. You also helped with the dismissal of a federal lawsuit against our city. You also coordinated and communicated with all of us beautifully during the COVID shutdown that was going on around the state and around the country. You helped maintain services in a safe way to our citizens and employees. And the truth is, that's probably enough, but I just can't go on enough to say what a great team builder you are, what a great leader you are. And it's just an impersonal, poll, or just a poll that I've been taking. And I see that morale is up, especially for our city hall workers. And I think all of the folks that work for our city are in a much better place now because of your leadership. And I just want to thank you. This has been a great 9 months under your leadership, and thank you for coming back and helping us out for a few months.
Alderman Robertson.
Thank you, Alderman.
Thank you, Mayor. Dave, I wanted to extend my appreciation to the Hendersonville Police Department and the Parks Department for their quick action to detain 2 registered sex offenders in one of our parks. So I just wanted to please extend to the police and the police department and the Parks Department how much we appreciate their vigilance and diligence in keeping our parks safe. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that, Alderman Robertson. Dave, anything else?
Yeah, one more thing. We had another drowning, and the fire department's done a great job. We've had a couple of drownings here recently, and fire department stepped up and actually worked through the late hours of the night, and Chief Bush and his staff do a great job. Again, I can't say enough about our employees. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thanks, Dave. Thanks for what you do. Next, we have our grouped ordinance and resolutions. And Alderman Robertson, please follow me here. Make sure I have these correct. We are grouping items A, C, F, H, I, J, and K. And would you like to make that motion to accept those?
So moved.
We have a motion to approve those items.
I'll second.
We have a second from Alderman Sprouse. Items A, C, F, H, I, J, K. We have a motion and a second to accept, approve those as a group. Let me read them. Item A, second reading of ordinance 2020-32. This is an ordinance amending budget ordinance 2020-20, accepting and appropriating a state of Tennessee Department of Transportation Tennessee Highway Safety Grant in the amount of $35,000 for the Hendersonville Police Department. Item C is second reading of ordinance 2020-35, an ordinance amending the Hendersonville Municipal Code, Title 9, Chapter 1 regarding peddlers and solicitors. Item F, first reading of ordinance 2020-40, an ordinance amending budget ordinance 2020-20 by accepting and appropriating sponsorship funds. Item H, resolution 2020-49. This is a resolution authorizing the transfer of $14,000 from the Parks Department maintenance of building line item, which is line 764, to the assets 7,000 and up line item, which is line 645. Next, we have item I, which is resolution 2020-56, a resolution to declare equipment owned by the city to be surplus property and directing disposal of that property. Item J, which is resolution 2020-57, a resolution of intent to use Parks Department budgeted funds for other items. And item K, resolution 2020-58, a resolution authorizing utilizing $14,000 from the Public Works Department assets $7,000 and up line item for the purpose of replacing a fuel canopy. We have a proper motion, a second, and I don't see anybody wishing to speak on these. All those in favor of accepting these at second reading of ordinance 2020-32, second reading of ordinance 2020-35, first reading of ordinance 2020-40, resolution 2020-49, resolution 2020-56, resolution 2020-57, resolution 2020-58, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, please say no when Kay calls your name.
Bolt,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Cunningham,
Aye.
Edwards,
Aye.
Hayes,
Aye.
Petrelli,
Aye.
Robertson,
Aye.
Skidmore,
Aye.
Sprouse,
Aye.
Woodcock,
Aye.
Clary.
Aye.
That's unanimous.
Passed unanimously. Thank you, Kay. Next, we have second reading of ordinance 2020-33. This is an ordinance amending the Hendersonville Municipal Code, Title 4, Chapter 3 of the Comprehensive Classification and Compensation Plan. Alderman Sprouse.
So moved.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second, for a motion from Alderman Sprouse, a second from Alderman Petrelli. Alderman Brown.
I have an amendment to offer, please.
Alderman Brown, do you want me to come back to you?
Yes, I'll wait on the amendment.
Okay, Alderman Sprouse.
I actually have two items. I'm going to offer them as the same amendment. If you would, I'm going to scroll down to page 15. If y'all would like to scroll down with me to page 15, I had a very eagle-eyed constituent catch a typo. The last paragraph, the first words of the paragraph are only degrees. If you follow to the third line in that paragraph, it says pay provided however than information technology. I'm first offering an amendment that says attainment pay provided, comma, however that it should be that instead of than information technologies may qualify for educational attainment. So it's just a typo, but felt like a comma being there and changing than to that would be more clear. The second I would like to do, I've had conversation with the personnel director, and the intent of the personnel department in drafting this is that any existing employee in this situation would be held harmless. So let me give you a quick example. We could have an employee who was in a job that did not require a bachelor's degree. But when they are, and so they are, and when they have a bachelor's degree, they're given the education pay. And they could then later on be promoted into a higher position that required the bachelor's degree. And they would get the promotion going into the position, but they would also maintain that that bonus, the higher pay, the education pay. There is a little bit of a discrepancy in that, because if you hired an employee new into that higher position because it required that bachelor's degree, they wouldn't get the bonus for that. So this is what this is really trying to fix. However, we have a very small group of employees who are currently getting education pay and after they've been promoted. And I think that it's unfair to cut their pay. They accepted the promotion with the understanding that they would continue education pay. And I feel like that it's really would be best for us to honor that commitment. If they accepted the additional responsibilities and the additional authority that comes with the position, I think that we should keep them and hold them harmless in that, especially some of our employees who are in the last few years of their career, and giving them a cut in these last few years would affect their ultimate retirement pay that they would get after they retire. So it's the intent of the personnel department not to harm any of these employees, but just to make sure. I talked with the personnel director, and I'd like to make the second part of this amendment being that no current employee currently affected by this situation will be harmed by this new policy. And it will be resolved on a case-by-case basis with the city administrator, the finance director, and the personnel director. Each one of these cases are a little bit different. It would be inappropriate and not very efficient for us to go through each employee situation. So I'm absolutely fine with saying the finance director, the city administrator, the personnel director work through these case by case. And if for some reason they're not able to come to some sort of conclusion, that this issue can be grieved to the board. That's my amendment.
We have a two-part amendment there. One was with the typos, one with the additional sentence. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Campbell. Alderman Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. I think Mr. Sprouse answered my question, but I want to confirm it in simpler terms for me. Basically, what we're talking about is those few employees that you mentioned will be grandfathered in at that rate and will not lose money and then go, or when they go up, they won't go backwards. And I know that makes no sense, but that's what you said.
It makes absolute sense. And we're really trying to avoid the term grandfathering because it is a rather broad term. And so we wanted to get it more narrowly focused and say each employee in this situation will be addressed and will be remedied.
Okay. I would also just like to see Mr. Taylor give me a thumbs up on all that's good. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you,
Mr. Brown.
Alderman Sprouse and Chris, I need your help here. If somebody is not currently getting a bump in pay for education, could this cause us to be required to give them a raise?
I'm trying to wrap my head around your question. If someone is not currently getting a bump, so if we have let's just use a police officer who has a high school education, what the requirement is.
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying, ask me that again, if he gets a promotion or she gets a promotion?
So I remember seeing a couple times PAFs that came across my desk with letters from employees that they accepted promotions, and we had to let them know that they would no longer be getting the educational bump. Will this change that to where if they used to get the educational bump and they have accepted a new position and they lost that, will they then get that educational bump returned to them?
So the promotions, demotions, and transfers policy also recognizes this situation because historically we've had an issue with employees not achieving kind of the situation we're in where employees do not achieve 7.5% during a promotion. That's what all of this started when somebody was getting an educational bump, they were promoted, for instance, to another position that had a different educational requirement. And that employee, ultimately, we would only go off their base pay, and that employee would ultimately only achieve a 5% bonus. That situation was completely addressed in our recent promotions, demotions, and transfers policy. So now we've achieved two things. The goal with this is for the employees to achieve a true 7.5% out the door promotional pay rate, which is fair, but also come out on the other side of this with an accurate e-pay designation, if that makes sense. The issue that we've run into is when let's just say hypothetically, is if we have a new police officer, and I'm just using a police officer as a good example, that has a bachelor's degree, that would allow that person to have E2, which is basically 5% higher than their base pay. What we're saying is if that same employee just has a bachelor's degree for the rest of their career and they end up making their way all the way up to a police lieutenant or an assistant chief position or commander position, that the controversy or the confusion has always been, does that employee get to keep the E2? Now, keep in mind, as that employee has gone throughout their career, let's say for fun that they're the assistant police chief at this point, and they have a bachelor's degree, is it necessary or warranted for that position to continue to have an E2 when at that point they really only meet the minimum qualifications, educational requirement of the job? So long story short, that's probably way more in the weeds than you care to hear. The intent of this so what you guys are looking at too, and I kind of catch myself realizing this, what you guys are looking at on paper is only an amendment to the municipal code. We have a policy in place that once this amendment is hopefully approved tonight, we have a policy in place that lays out this much more in detail along with the promotion, demotion, and transfer policy. As you hopefully can understand, these two are intertwined in regards to promotional pay rates. We don't really have a lot of demotional pay rates, but promotional pay rates happen quite frequently.
And to flesh out that answer, one of the things that we were dealing with the last time with the promotions and transfer was we were finding that we were finding inequities when people were doing transfers. And so what we're really trying to do is make this to where it's fair.
Alderman Strauss, you just froze.
I don't want to finish his sentence by any means, but him and I spoke a little bit this afternoon, and I think where he was going is it's, we're trying to get to the point where it's fair, consistent, and equitable across the board, but also trying to recognize what's been done in the past. And we certainly don't want to undo that. We certainly don't want to penalize anybody. It's kind of a tricky situation to navigate, but we're committed to making it right. Some of these may have to be case by case because people weren't treated the same all the way across the board. I would also like to encourage you to consider voting tonight, because our current policy that arguably got us into some of this mess was last reviewed and revised in 1990. So I would encourage you for nothing else to support some new fresh language that we've really talked about and with our commitment to not taking money from anyone, but hoping to right some of these wrongs, if you will, but also have accurate e-pay designations. That's the goal, because, obviously if your e-pay designation is incorrect, it causes some issues. It causes some fairness issues. It causes you, once you're topped out, it causes you to be paid above and beyond a pay scale. But ultimately it causes fairness and equitable issues. And that's what we're trying to avoid. So Alderman Sprouse is back. I didn't mean to cut him off. Him and I talked a little bit this afternoon, and I was hoping that I could probably finish his sentence for him in that regard. So
I heard a little bit about where you're going. I was getting in bits and pieces, but the real thing is we're closing an issue. There'll be a short period of time to where we're going to have some people in transition, but it's fair to maintain the commitment to our existing employees while making things very transparent to future employees and current employees with future transfers and promotions. Are you good with that, Mayor? You have any questions, anything we should address in addition to that?
I guess it's pretty simple. Chris, will this cost the city any more in payroll?
Potentially with new hires, but like we said 3 weeks ago, it'll be very minimal, because the other thing that you guys don't see tonight, but that the new policy reflects because it's not in the municipal code, is it's a recruiting tool that we are going to be paying new hires for their educational level on day one instead of their probation when they come off probation. Right now, for the last 100 years, if that same police officer that we've been referencing has a bachelor's degree, I think all of us could agree that that person uses that bachelor's degree on their first day of employment. However, that person is not eligible to get that educational bump until they come off probation, which for most of our police employees are 1 year into their employment. What this new policy will do is allow us to give that employee the educational bump from day one, which should allow us to recruit at a higher level, as well as benefit the employee as well, because we are certainly using their education from day one, not 1 year into their employment.
I see it actually saving us money in many situations, because if once we close this loophole, the next person who takes the promotion into the position now that requires the degree, we will not be paying that higher pay. We will not be giving the education pay, and that's something that they will know prior to accepting the promotion. So ultimately, it's going to, like many loopholes, once you close them, people are going to stop going through them.
So do we have any current staff member that's going to be able to use this to expect an increase in pay?
Not that I'm aware of, Mayor.
Appreciate that. So first we need to vote on the amendment. There's again 2 parts to that amendment. The first part was a typographical correction, and the second part was a couple sentences by Alderman Strauss. Any other discussion on the amendment? All those in favor of the amendment, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, please say no when Kay calls your name.
Vote.
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Cunningham,
Aye.
Edwards,
Aye.
Hayes,
Aye.
Petrelli,
Aye.
Robertson,
Aye.
Skidmore,
Aye.
Sprouse,
Aye.
Woodcock,
Aye.
Clary,
I believe Alderman Waters is with us now.
Waters,
Jim, we can't hear you, and I know that Tina is working on your audio.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. You're in good shape now.
Oh, Lord, what a night. What a night. I sustain,
Okay. Okay.
abstain.
I guess. I just got in. Bad night.
That's 12 ayes, 1 abstention.
That passes with a majority vote. We're back on the main motion for ordinance 2020-33. Any other discussion on that? All those in favor of accepting second reading of ordinance 2020-33, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, please say no when Kate calls your name.
Woodcock,
Aye.
Waters, I'll come back to him. Sprouse,
Aye.
Skidmore,
Aye.
Robertson,
Aye.
Petrelli, Petrelli,
Aye.
Hayes,
Aye.
Edwards,
Aye.
Cunningham,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Bolt,
Aye.
Waters,
Sustain.
Clary,
Aye.
12 ayes, 1 abstention.
Thank you, Kay. That passed with a majority vote. Next, we have second reading of ordinance 2020-36. This is an ordinance amending the Hendersonville Municipal Code, Title 8, Chapter 2 regarding beer, and Title 5, Chapter 6 regarding alcoholic beverage tax. Alderman Edwards.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Just sent.
All those in favor of second reading of ordinance 2020-36, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, please say no when Kay calls your name.
Woodcock,
Aye.
Waters, I'll come back. Sprouse,
Aye. Both of us.
Yes, sir.
okay.
2 ayes.
Skidmore,
Aye.
Robertson,
Aye.
Petrelli,
Aye.
Hayes,
Aye.
Edwards,
Aye.
Cunningham,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Bolt,
Aye.
Clary,
Aye.
that's unanimous.
Passed unanimously. Thank you, Kay. Next, we have item E. This is first reading of ordinance 2020-34, an ordinance to reestablish a 4-year term for the city attorney, similar to the term for city judge. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Alderman Woodcock.
Thank you, Mayor. I didn't follow this at general committee. I think earlier they stated that there was no action taken. I'm going to propose something, maybe it's a little bit out there. Some of you may know, some of you may not, but about 4 or 5 years ago, I proposed something kind of similar, except it was more just lining it up with a city judge election. But at that time, I had a great conversation with Attorney Bradley, and to me, it seems better to make this a city employee position, like a full-time staff position versus an elected position. Obviously, I'm on my way out and I don't have time to investigate that further or see the will of the board. But I would propose that we remove this from the agenda and send it to general committee maybe after the election and see about making the city attorney a permanent full-time staff position. Thank you.
Alderman Woodcock, what I'll go ahead and do is I will withdraw that. And I'll follow up with our city recorder on that. And we'll move to item G, first reading of ordinance 2020-41. This is an ordinance amending budget ordinance 2020-20 to accept and appropriate unanticipated revenues and expenditures. Alderman Strauss.
Yes, sir. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, motion from Alderman Strauss, a second from Alderman Brown. Alderman Edwards? Alderman Robertson?
I didn't have anything. That was from before.
Okay,
Mayor, I'll be happy to speak to this.
go ahead, Alderman Strauss.
What we're doing here, you may have remembered back during the budget, we talked about revisiting COLA and merit increases for the employees later in the year when we felt like that our financial situation was better, or when we felt secure, we had more information about what our financial situation would be like. And we have a situation here where we have received from the Industrial Development Board, make sure I get the right number. When we look, we've received little over $201,000 from the Industrial Development Board once the TIF account was closed out. That's just basically, I guess, escrow money and some fees and things that were being held back. And the Industrial Development Board has paid themselves back for the legal fees that they incurred during the county's lawsuit. Y'all may remember that lawsuit that was found in the favor of the Industrial Development Board, but they did incur legal expenses. So they paid themselves back and still have little over $201,000 for us. That covers almost the entirety of a cost of living adjustment starting with the first pay period in January. So we will be able, should this pass, be able to give all employees the cost of living increase for half the year. And that's very important because with that percentage increase, that means next year it'll continue and it'll compound. It's one of those things that if we don't do it in a budget year, in our fiscal year, we lose that unless we give some sort of big bump later on down the road. Then having conversations with our finance director, and he is feeling comfortable with sales tax, that the revenues that are coming in already for sales tax are coming in ahead of a projection, that we can also provide the step merit increase for all eligible employees. And there was some question about this in Finance Committee, so I want to point out that COLA is one of those that it happens when it's approved. Usually we approve it with the budget, so it happens with the first pay period of the fiscal year. In this case, it will happen with the first pay period after the first of the year, first paycheck in January. With the merit is awarded, is applied on an employee's anniversary date. So those employees who have not yet had an anniversary date as of the first of the year will receive their, should this pass, will receive their merit step increase on their anniversary date. Any employee that had their anniversary date in the previous 6 months from the start of this current fiscal year to January 1st, that will hit on their first paycheck in January. So it's one of those that just because the time has already passed for their anniversary, we're going to recognize all the anniversaries for the previous 6 months on the first paycheck in January. Thank you.
Alderman Strauss, thank you. Any other discussion?
Mayor.
Alderman Waters.
Thank you. Previous speaker there, Alderman Strauss, does this have to be terminated to go to that specific cause that you just mentioned, the whole amount?
Yes, this ordinance is saying that we are accepting the revenue from the TIF and applying that towards COLA and merit, with the remainder coming from the general fund, with the understanding and in conversations with the finance director that this would have no negative, this is projected to have no negative impact upon our projected general fund balance. That he is saying that we can pay for this. It's his opinion we can pay for this, cover this with revenue that's coming in, and still have at least as much money as we were expecting to have in the general fund.
Okay, good.
And this revenue that we're getting from the TIF was not budgeted revenue. So this is extra revenue.
How much was that? How much was that?
It's a little over $201,000.
201.
201, and that right there covers just a few $1,000s short of covering the entire step increase for 6 months.
So we're still going to be at, say, $2,000 or $3,000?
I'm sorry?
We'll still be out $2,000 or $3,000, won't we?
We would
To
still
make
be
up
out a
the-
little,
to make
yeah,
up the
yeah,
difference.
yes. I mean,
Okay.
we're appropriating estimated $440,000. It's one of those, it's very difficult to get the exact dollar amount because we don't know who those employees are going to be on January 1st. So if we have someone who leaves employ, they're not going to be included in this.
Good. Okay. That's great. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Alderman Petrelli.
Oh, I want to add something before Mrs. Petrelli says anything. When this was in Finance Committee, she was listed as a co-sponsor on this. The copy that came out in this agenda did not have her listed. So I just want to make sure that I don't think we have an amendment and required or anything like that. But I did notice that the packet that came out Friday did not list her as the original did in Finance Committee.
I don't think there's any objection to adding her name there. If there is, please let me know. There we go. We're going to add Alderman Petrelli's name there. Alderman Petrelli.
I'm good. Thank you, Mayor.
Fantastic.
All those in favor of accepting first reading of ordinance 2020-41, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, please say no when Kay calls your name.
Bolt,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Edwards,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes, thank you, IDB.
Petrelli,
Yes.
Robertson,
Yes.
Skidmore, Sprouse,
Aye.
Waters,
Aye.
Woodcock,
Aye.
Clary.
Aye.
That's unanimous.
Thank you, Kay. That passed unanimously. Kay, can you help us out here? I believe that we have finished everything on the agenda.
I just got here. What do you mean?
Move to adjourn.
Hold on, Kay.
Come on.
Hold on 1 second. Kay, am I correct on that?
That's correct.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn. Alderman Waters may just in fact vote no. And Tina, if he does, will you allow him to stay on this call by himself for a little while? All those in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, please say no when Kay calls your name.
And go Titans.
Sideways.
You treat me like a stepson.
Sideways.
Bolt,
Yes, yes.
Brown,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Edwards,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Petrelli. Petrelli,
He's already adjourned.
Robertson,
She
Yes.
left.
Robertson,
Yes.
Skidmore,
Yes.
Sprouse,
Yes.
Waters,
Sideways.
Yes. I'm sorry I'm late, folks. I apologize.
Woodcock, Clary,
Yes.
Petrelli.
She's left.
I believe that's unanimous.
Happy birthday, Robert. Thank you so much. We're adjourned. Good night.
Thank you, Mayor. Sorry.
Happy birthday, Robert.
Take care, Mr. Waters.
Appreciate it.